This is a story on how I got my driver's license. I went to the DMV today and I was reminded of when I went and took my test. When I was 16, I went to the Pasadena DMV to get my driver's license, and the first time I took the test, I failed it. I failed it because I crossed my arms. The lady that was instructing me or doing the driving test was like, hey, you crossed your arms, and I never did. I never crossed my arms. I remember practicing so much, and I remember just like how tense I was paying attention to everything, but I had no proof to prove her wrong. But then I went back after 2 weeks to get my driver's license again, or attempted to get my driver's license again at that same DMV, the Pasadena DMV, which has a bad reputation. But the Pasadena DMV definitely has a bad reputation because of this driving instructor. My second driving instructor that I was taking the test with laid down. He put the seat all the way back and he couldn't even see over the dashboard. He couldn't even see my speedometer or anything like that. I know because I sat down in it afterwards to see if he was telling the truth, but he failed me because I was speeding. That's right, I was speeding, but he couldn't have known. He wasn't really like looking, and I definitely was not speeding. Who speeds on a driving test? Not this guy. I did not speed. He failed me because I was speeding, and I was like, no, I was not speeding. And again, I couldn't really argue with it because he's the driving instructor. He's the one giving the test, and I just had to take it for what it was. So I failed that time too. Had to wait another 2 weeks, and I took the test at Glendale DMV. That's right, the Glendale DMV. And after I was done, they were like, hey, you passed. And I was like, I passed? And they're like, what, did you want to fail? Because I can mark it that you failed if you don't want to drive. And I was like, whoa. If I passed, I passed. And he was like, you passed, or she. I think that the third one was a girl. The first one was a girl that just failed me without even really paying attention. I don't even think she ever looked up. She was just looking down at her paper the whole time. And then she's like, hey, you crossed your arms. And that second guy definitely never looked up at all. And he was just like laying down the whole time. But that third time's the charm at the Glendale DMV, which I do recommend. Don't go to the Pasadena DMV. But that was my story on how I got my driver's license, my DMV story. I also went to the DMV today to get my real ID. Did you get your real ID? Also, do you have a DMV story? Maybe preferably one that rotates around you getting your driver's license? Maybe you had a similar or different experience? Did you also have to take the test 3 times in order to get yourself a driver's license? Because I did.